With So Will I by Hillsong, and this certainly isn't the main line in the song, but one that sticks out to me is something that Jesus says when he's entering the holy city, and the church and religious leaders tell him to quiet his followers down, and he says that if these are remain silent, then the stones will cry out, and I really like that. So please join us in worship.
Speak.
disappear when you lost your life so I could find it here. If you left the grave behind you so light, I can see your heart and everything you've done, every part designed in the work of art called love. If you gladly chose surrender so light, I can see your heart 8 billion different ways. Every precious one, child you died to save. If you gave your life to love them so light, like you would again 100 billion times. But what measure could mount to your desire? The one who never leaves the one behind.
Check. 1, 2. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Can I get a thumbs up in the video chat at all? Awesome. Well, thank you, Eric, for that wonderful song. Haven't heard that one in a minute, so that was really nice. So thanks. Hi, everyone. Welcome to, is it week 7? That is horrifying. So yeah, hi, welcome to week 7 of Virtual Focus. We're so glad so many of you could come out. So many alumni coming out. We see you in the chat. We see you. Make sure to just show your beautiful faces. Wave hi, just say how postgraduate life is going. We'd love some tips, us seniors. So please let us know how that's going. We have a couple announcements, which is always exciting, especially during virtual time. As always, after Focus, we're doing our virtual focus group. That'll be after tonight's service. We'll also be doing an in-person focus group Thursdays, or some people call it tomorrow, at 7 p.m. So make sure to come to one of those. They are both popping off, I hear. So make sure to show up. Another thing is that, unfortunately, a lot of us will not be back here next year. We will be doing whatever. So with that in mind, Focus Exec Board applications are opening up Friday. We had an informational session at 8:45 before the service. If you couldn't make that, no sweat. If you have any questions about what it entails, what you would have to do, if you should do it, feel free to email me, Melissa, or anyone else on the exec board, and we'd be happy to give you some answers. So like I said, it opens this Friday, and it'll be open for the next 2 weeks. So if you're looking for something to do on your singular spring break day, make sure to spend it doing that application and just seeing what that has in store for you. So that is all the announcements I have today. I know you guys don't want to hear me talk anymore, so I will just get to the speaker intro of Warner hype woman Hellyer. Yeah, can I get some claps? Absolutely, absolutely. So, as many of you know, Warner is a what? Who said what? All right, sounds good. Warner is a senior business and entrepreneurship major. She is also a social change leadership minor. Just flexing with the majors. Some of us have boring ones like psychology, get out of here with that. All right. Some of us have business and entrepreneurship majors. She's also just got accepted to be a business development intern at Mzingo U. Am I saying that right? Mzingo U. She just got accepted. So if you got to say congratulations to Warner on that, they recognized how awesome she is. So that is very, very cool. Some fun facts about Warner. She loves coffee, formerly a barista. She thinks that's really important for everyone to know. She has been involved in Focus in years past. She has been the discipleship coordinator. She was also involved in Enactus and things all across campus. Well, my favorite fun fact about Warner is that Warner and I were each other's first friends at North Central, just scared little first years sitting at orientation. And it was just, a great time. And it's been lovely to get to know her over the next 4 years, over the past 4 years. But just to sum up, who is Warner? She is someone I would describe as warm, as intelligent, as kind, and as caring. And I genuinely believe that everything she touches, she makes better. So please give it up for Warner Hellyer.
All right, how is this? Check, 1, 2, good, awesome, okay. Thank you very much, Daniel, for that warm introduction. I am so humbled to be here tonight. I'm so grateful to be speaking. I'm really grateful to you, executive team, for thinking of me and considering me to speak. It's been 4 years already, and not to be that cliche senior that's like, oh, this time goes by so fast. It really does. It actually does. And as a freshman, I could hardly picture this moment being in this space as a senior, and then you blinked twice and you're here. So really, really happy to be here to share what's on my heart, though. But I want to preface that the posture I'm speaking from today is one that is on the rise. Last year, like so many people, I suffered immense loss of experiences, pets, and people. I experienced depression and anxiety for the first time of my life and had no idea the evil that I was up against. The divided political climate in the nation and in my own neighborhood, along with the killings of my neighbors in the Black community, left my heart in a state of mourning and at a loss of words. It was sincerely a devastating year and was the lowest I had ever felt personally and spiritually. Perhaps needless to say, I haven't been to church in quite a while, well over a year, and God and I have been the most distant we had ever been. I was and still am a perfectionist, crippled by her own control and expectations of myself and the way I think my life should go, and I'm still working through that. But through therapy, prayers, and so much love from my loving partner, Andrew, and close friends and family, I am standing up again, and I am so excited to be here speaking to you. And I've been thinking about two things specifically. One is this world is heavy and it's divisive. In almost every conversation, there is likely to be at least one eggshell present that you need to step around. Another thing I've been thinking about is how much I love being invited. I have one niece and 2 nephews and a niece on the way in April, and my nephew, Bo, who is 3, will often come over and ask me, do you want to play hide and seek? And my heart swells that I made it into the friend club of my 3-year-old nephew. And I know what you're thinking, like, Warner, he's 3, he could totally play with a rock, like, take a deep breath. But I am so excited. So between the divisions I feel and my love for invitation, I thought I would talk tonight about what I have been learning about building community. And I think that division and invitations make up a lot of community. In Scott Arison's recent devotional, Hottest Advent, which Melissa will be dropping a link to in the chat, he mentions who we are is deeper than where we find ourselves in this moment. And Jesus illuminates that deeper identity. For me, a large part of that deeper identity and something Jesus had shed light on with the absence of is community. When I think of community, I think of the conversations people have around a table. So these next 4 tools are ones that I have been praying and meditating over in my own inclusive work in learning, and tools that I think help build a longer table for community. So number 1, ask questions. I feel like a lot of times I find myself in conversation with people to go to college or to not go to college, and it's often about the debate on which to be more successful. For me, I have had the privilege of experiencing success both ways, with a college degree and with not. But for myself, I'm standing before you as hopefully a college graduate come May, and I have learned that college has taught me the most about how to ask questions, and a lot of them. Being a curious learner has set me up to be an engaged global citizen that invites a conversation that can often lead to differences in points of dispute. However, I think curiosity has a unique way of providing a safe and controlled environment. I have found when you ask questions, you may even pass less judgment and invite people to stay longer and learn together. Asking questions is a stepping stone to being an empathetic listener, which is also the next tool I'm learning. But listening, oof, that's hard for me. And if you ask my partner, Andrew, I don't do it very well, if at all. I am often in my own brain with my own agenda and my own list of to-dos. I feel like this is something I will have to commit to relearning often. In my defense, though, it is so hard to hear so many opinions, thoughts, and ideas, and often I am finding myself waiting for one person to finish so I can speak. And that's not a good practice when I want to build a longer table for people to stay a while. I want people to feel seen, loved, and valued, and listening is a catalyst for this. And if I cannot do it well enough, then my table is not long enough. Third tool that I am sharpening is showing up. A dear friend of mine named Pilani does this with such grace that I admire greatly. If I ever need something and have a question or need support from someone who knows my heart, Pilani shows up without a second notice. Her reassuring phrase is always, we'll figure it out. We, as in together, and figure out like it was never not doable. How inviting is that to feel supported and loved, but also know that someone is there? I have a group of women in my life who hype me up and even put big moments of my life in their own calendar. They often have the text ready or my number already dialed for when these big moments happen. I'm so grateful to them and love that I have models to look after on how to best show up for people and actively participate in their lives. The last and final tool, I've continuously been challenged by a gentle and merciful man, Jesus, may I heard of him, is to love my neighbor. Carlos Rodriguez, a pastor and the founder of the nonprofit Happy Givers, and someone who has actually spoken here at Focus, wrote a book called Drop the Stones, and Melissa is going to drop the link for the free download in that chat. This whole book is written with the story of John chapter 8, verse 2 through 11 in mind. And this part of the gospel is about the woman who was caught in the act of adultery, and all the people gathered to have her stoned for her sin. Then Jesus appears and hits them with this. If any of you have no sin, you throw the first stone. Can you imagine that? Ouch. Ouch. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine being there in that moment, being the person holding the stone, being confronted with my own sins and Jesus calling me out. But I also couldn't imagine being the adulteress, watching Jesus show up and show mercy first and then love next. Because his next line, after everyone had left and dropped their stones, was this: "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" And she said, "No one, Lord." And Jesus said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now on, sin no more." John chapter 8, verses 10 through 11. Friends, Jesus showed up. He listened, he asked questions, and he loved his neighbor. I want to love my neighbor like Jesus. I want to love my immigrant neighbor, my Black neighbor, my Muslim neighbor, my atheist neighbor, my depressed neighbor, my LGBTQIA neighbor, my conservative neighbor, my disabled neighbor, my indigenous neighbor, my Jewish neighbor, my progressive neighbor, my incarcerated neighbor, my homeless neighbor, my Latinx neighbor, and my addicted neighbor. I want to love my neighbor so well, they do not even have to ask if they have a seat at the table that I am learning to build. Will you guys pray with me? Jesus, thank you for showing up for me, listening to me, and asking me tough questions to help me love my neighbor better. I want to continue to learn to be just like you with your grace, mercy, and love for everyone. Lord, thank you for this focused community and the people who have continuously shown up and served you to make this a space that is safe and inviting to learn more about who you are. This community has had a significant impact in my faith journey, and you knew I would need it and the people in it. Thank you for letting me learn from it. Amen. Before I go, I want to apply one of all of these tools for the table that I'm building with one more link in the chat. And this link is a Google form for you to drop any prayer requests or burdens that may be on your heart, so I and the Focus executive team may pray over you. Likewise, we would love to hear about any celebrations that we can lift up to the Lord on behalf of you so we can celebrate your wins. This form can be entirely confidential if you don't leave your name, but you're more than welcome to do that as well. Thank you to each of you for being here and welcoming me.
Thank you so much, Warner, for that lovely talk. Warner asked me to share a song that she really likes about building that table, and always welcoming people back to the table in the same way that the father welcomes his son back after he throws away his inheritance, much in the same way that Jesus and God shows his love and forgiveness to us.
And I will hold you in my arms. We're good? Oh, hi. Thank you, Eric. And again, can we just give it up for Warner for that amazing talk? I needed to hear it. Always so well-spoken and just lovely, and we're happy to have you. So thank you again. Let's see, we don't have any other announcements. So let me do our traditional send out with focus. Feel free to follow along. And as you go in peace, may the love of God surround you, may the grace of God astound you, and may the hope of God ground you. Amen. And next week, we have our very own national champion and the most wonderful, powerful Naomi Hill. So come on back next week. We'd love to have you. And stay tuned for our future plans, people. Oh, and if you have any questions about next year's Focus Exec Board, Gen Board, let us know. Hang out in the chat, all that good stuff. All right, drive safe.